Aloha, guys. Happy Aloha Friday. Yes, we are almost to cantina time, and the weekend is almost here for us. But before we get to that time, we got a mental health live. Gonna do a little different mental health live today. As some of you guys heard, I actually went to a bunch of people and asked, "Hey, I didn't know what to talk about today. I can't get my mind off of Maui for some reason." Um, and a lot of other things going on in life right now also. And someone mentioned about disasters. Um, a lot of us have been through disasters in our life. Okay, I've got a poll up for everyone to take a look at. If you come in, answer that poll and let's see what things look like. How many of us have actually lived through a natural disaster? And it's something that a lot of times we see outside of us. Okay, you see it on TV, you see it on, in the news, things like that. Yet most of us have probably, my guess is, been through something that qualifies as a natural disaster, whether it be a tornado, a hurricane, tsunami, tidal wave, wildfires. Like now, yesterday when we were talking, there were a couple people in chat who had been through wildfires. Pretty much anyone through most of California has been through a wildfire. Um, so what I thought we'd do is we come here today and I want to give time for YouTube to get notifications out and all that. But kind of come together. I want to give you guys an update on what's going on with the actual fire right now, because there have been some updates today. Not the greatest news of updates. They continue to find more bodies. But videos are starting to come out now. People are starting to be able to share out the videos of what they have been through. So we're starting to see exactly how bad the damage truly is. On the other hand, amazing the generosity and the aloha spirit that you see out there. I saw a picture earlier today of traffic downtown Honolulu, going down, King Street, just as far as you can see, car after car after car lining up on their way to the capital, where people are dropping off things for the people of Maui. So it's on both sides. So what I'm going to do is, before we go into the mental health side of this, and I do want to ask people, if you've been part of um, a natural disaster and would like to help share your story. Okay, we've got chat, and I'm also going to ask people if they'd like to come up and help share the story and how they got through the emotions, the mental health side of going through a disaster. Like I said, whether it be tsunami, tornado, hurricane, threats within workplace violence, things like that. All of those things affect us. So, but let me say some highs to some people real quickly as everyone comes in. Here she goes, was first in chat. So, hey, here she goes. I am on coffee cup number 3. This is dangerous, but it's so good. Why did they have to come up with Keurigs? That's all I got to say. I had no problem limiting my coffee until the Keurig came out, and now I'm in trouble. So Princess Megan is here. Hey, Princess Megan, how you? Bark you. Hey, my dear. Again, thank you yesterday for the donated membership. Thank you. I love ya. Thank you. Mal is here in chat. Hey, Mal. And the Robster himself. Hello, Robbie. How you doing, my friend? And you kept me up way too late last night. I literally did not get to sleep till 6:15 this morning because someone had to stay up because I just had to see your live. So, oh my God, horrible. And the bushes is here, lurking while walking the dog. Now that sounds like, I try to walk my dogs, but with 3, it's impossible. They truly walk me. And the problem with 3 dogs, when you're walking them and they don't behave, I end up with leashes tangled around my legs. Yeah, I spend the whole time picking up my feet and trying to step over leashes. Yeah, it's hilarious to watch actually. PJ's here. Hey PJ, hey PJ. How you doing, my dear? And yes, people are coming in and answering the question. I have a poll going up top if you guys can take a second, okay? And it looks like a half right now of people who have been through um natural disasters versus those who have not. Those of you who have been in natural disasters, please feel free to share in chat what it is you've been through. Um, but while we are getting people coming on in, and I did want to give everyone a real quick update as to what's going on in Maui. There have been some updates today. Um, so we're going to do that real quick. And then once we kind of get updated, I will change the subject to discussion about how we get through, how different people have gotten through natural disasters. What are the emotions that come with it? What have you dealt with? How did you deal with it? Things like that. And also, and to be honest, even natural disasters, I think sometimes it's just stuff that we have no control over. Okay, trauma in a way, okay, it may not be Mother Earth, okay, causing a disaster, but it's still something you have no control over whatsoever. And also, but anyhow, Maui reports, this actually was one of the first bits of news I heard this morning. In fact, I was leaving a message to someone in this chat when all of a sudden the notification popped up that they had 12 new fatalities during the all 12 of these are in Lahaina. So it's yeah, PJ, we're all sending prayers and we're all trying to okay be there for Maui. Things are getting, I think we're just starting to see exactly how it's affecting people. I think a lot of us thought it wasn't going to be this big. Okay, I myself, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, we've had wildfires here in Hawaii before, nothing like this. And so what I want to do is, this is an article. I am going to play this article and all because this is really explains what was going on with this. This is about, and like they're saying here, there's roughly 1,000 people still unaccounted for. Now, does that mean there's 1,000 deaths? Probably not. Probably not. I think a lot of people are unaccounted for because there is no infrastructure. Okay, phone service is very spotty. Okay, people are still, in fact, the Coast Guard is still looking for survivors in the water because that's what was going on. I've got video here that I was able to find on Facebook of during the fire itself, people in the water. And but this is actually two people who were, and sounds great, FarQ. We'll see you when you get home. Um, this elderly woman and her daughter, I think, if I remember right. Hello, here she goes. They were in their car when the fire really started getting out of control, and they realized quickly, we're not going to get out of here. We got to make a decision. We talked yesterday about how unfortunately there were people, as you're driving past these cars, you're seeing people who did not make it, who are still in their vehicles. This couple here were able to get out of their car and jumped into the water. So I'm going to play this. Just it gives us kind of quick update on what's been going on.
88-year-old Elaine Nakamura and her daughter, Lisa Nihei, in a moment of relief after surviving 7 to 8 hours in the water in front of the Lahaina break wall. Their family tells us that they were trying to escape the flames on Tuesday night, but had to abandon their car and jump over the seawall and into the ocean. It was a harrowing night with the flames on one side and choppy waves on the other. Nakamura got help from a young Good Samaritan who helped her to stay above the water for hours until the Coast Guard rescued them at 2:30 in the morning. They both lost their homes, but they were reunited with most of their family at around 4:30 Wednesday morning at Maui Prep. Nakamura's granddaughter and grandson-in-law took these videos and pictures of Lahaina after the fires ripped through. It shows the complete destruction of the town, with ashes covering what was once a vibrant and bustling area. The outlets of Maui are gone. Most of the buildings have been leveled by the flames. This family isn't completely reunited. They're still missing Nakamura's son, Todd.
Okay, so it just gives you an idea, okay, what was going on. And they're looking for their son, her son. Okay, and this, could you see 7 hours treading water in the ocean? Okay, waiting for someone to come and help get you to safety. Hey, Siren, by the way, Siren and Sleuth popped in during that video. Hey, 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 you both. Um, and let me real quickly, one other, just to show you what the water was like for these people. I came across this video. Sorry, dogs are getting noisy again. Came across this video actually from one of our news anchors. Okay, Stephanie is amazing. Stephanie's a wonderful reporter. She is like a mainstay in Hawaii. And this is actually, I don't have the audio playing, but this is what during that afternoon when people were jumping in the water and staying in the water, someone pulled out their video. And this is what that elderly woman was in. Okay, staying in water like this. Okay, and anyone who knows the ocean here, you've got riptides. So you're balancing between both sides. You don't want to go in further, but you don't want to go out too far. Because if you go out too far, you got issues also. And so it's really, as the videos come out, we're going to see more and more of exactly what's gone on with things. So let me pull us back to where I was. I'm now understanding why a lot of people like having two screens when you're doing this type of thing. It makes a big difference, totally. So anyhow, just going over this just real quickly for updates, because I know a lot of people have been wanting to know what are the updates and everything that are coming out. And then we're going to start going in. Yeah, the smoke in these areas. I mean, and we're getting the smoke here. I'm feeling it. When I go outside, I can feel it. But more pictures popping up of the areas. So like I said, 12 new fatalities. So our number of those who passed away during this is up to 67. All 12 of these people were from the Lahaina area. Hey, KK, love you, my dear. My heart's going out to you, my dear. I love you. Take care, my dear. And like they said, it can go up. Okay, if they've got somewhere around 1,000 people they're still trying to track. Okay, a lot of people are moving further up north on the west side of Maui into the hotels there. We're starting to hear some concerns of people saying that they can't even get food up in these areas. And because there's so many people and so little food coming in. Now you do have, like I said, today, let me see if I can pull that picture up for you guys, because it was one of the greatest little things to see is how people come together. Okay, and we're hearing about it like crazy right now. People who are, okay, doing fundraisers and stuff like that just to make sure that we can get people safe. And there is some, here it is right here. Pull this up for you guys to see. And so this is a picture of in front of our
88-year-old Elaine.
One second, let me get rid of that. You guys don't need that if I'm sharing this. Sorry, there we go. So this picture is a picture of in front of our Capitol. We have people just lined up for, like, I mean, looking for they're dropping off donations and they're sitting in this line. Okay, you can see right here, this is our Capitol right down here in the bottom right hand corner that you're seeing there. This is a one-way street. And right here, look at this. These are people dropping off food. They're dropping off money. They're dropping off whatever is needed. Okay. Hey, Kermit Frog, how you doing? I live on the island of Oahu. So I live where Honolulu is. So pretty much big city island. And hey, Butterfly Kisses, how you doing, my dear? And still, KK, love you. And so that's why I'm good. Other than smoke that might get here at times, luckily the winds have been blowing it away pretty quickly. It's not as bad as, say, when we have Vog and the winds, Kona winds come in and they drop and nothing. So it's horrible at that time. But yeah, this is people just dropping off goods. And I know there's a lot of people who are doing donations. I did hear, FYI, for those of you who are interested in donating, um, they are trying to, because they're very concerned about fraud and scams and stuff like that, which I don't blame them about. We see this every time there's a disaster. They're trying to limit all donations coming into the island, from reputable companies, Red Crosses, things like that. So that list that I gave you, like, okay, all of that came off of Hawaii News Now. So all those should be fair game for you guys if anyone wants to donate. And again, that's on my community page. So other things, let me see what we got. Okay. Let's see here. So again, West I they still have no power, okay, no water. They were saying, one of the reporters was saying it's like gold right now getting ice. They came in on uh a truck, and people were just inundating the truck because they need gas. There's no gas anywhere. There's ice, no ice. So what ice they had on the truck, people were like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, yes, I heard of one person paying. Now I don't know if this is true or not. These are, again, whether or not people are telling the truth or not. But someone said that they had heard from their family member that they had gotten eggs and milk and paid $89. Okay, now that's price gouging in my eyes. So if that is happening, I definitely hope we're taking care of that and taking care of it quickly. So oh wow, KK, that'd be amazing. Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. Give you something you could work with and we can see what we can do. Definitely. Because there are, I mean, I've started using a certain color. Maui's color is pink, by the way. So for anyone who is doing stuff like that, that's it. So other things going on with this, again, like we know, Lahaina is gone. Okay. And this is why it's so important. I mean, this was a visitor destination. When you had cruises, this is one of the areas you would go, things like that. And this is, like it says, former seat of the, okay, Hawaiian Kingdom. This is ancient, this area. Okay, when it comes to Hawaii and Hawaiian history, it's ancient. It's been there since the days of King Kamehameha and stuff like that. So stuff, yeah. So Governor Green, okay, last comment that he did put in was, when you see the full extent of the destruction in Lahaina, it will shock you. It does appear like a bomb and fire went off, if I may. And all the buildings virtually are going to have to rebuild. It will be a new Lahaina that Maui builds in its own image with its own values. What we got here? Curious, what have the temperatures been like there without? Luckily, Hawaii, guys, is not that bad temperature wise. Now we're at our hottest time of year, so yeah, it's hot. Let me check real quickly. Let me switch this from my location to Lahaina, and but we, where I am right now, have been in the upper 80s and also not too bad. Lahaina itself is usually cooler. So let's see. Today, Lahaina's high was 80. Its low 68. Partly cloudy. And so thank God their temperatures are not as bad. Hawaii, okay, Honolulu always is hotter because we have so much cement and stuff like that. However, I'm sure from the fire and all, they're still dealing with extra heat and stuff like that because the fires are not out of control yet, not under control yet. So, yeah, you have a lot of pink. We'll work it out. I talked to my awesome. Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of people, and everyone, we're all going to come in behind Maui and all that. So, um, and we do have the national, okay, Biden did come in and is bringing in money for things. from what I hear today, we started having the National Guard and all come in, and a lot of the people that have been just parking on the streets because a lot of people just want to get back into areas. Lahaina is dangerous right now. It's dangerous there. They're starting to open it up now, just starting to open it up. But to get into Lahaina, you have to show that you live there or you show your reservation at one of the hotels. You can't just say, oh, yeah, I live there. No, no, you got to prove it. And because it's dangerous, it's very, okay, possible people can be hurt going to go just see it because we know a lot of people like to just see what happened. Um, and there is a curfew in place also there. So that's also happening. Um, Again, big issue going on is there are thousands and thousands of people who are displaced. They don't have a home. They have no hotel to go to. They don't have anything. So there's the 6 emergency shelters, and let's see here. I'm glad how many are coming together to quickly. Yep. And guys, I want to say that's Hawaii and the Aloha spirit, but honestly, guys, I think that's just the human spirit. Yes, we call it the Aloha spirit and all that, and the Aloha spirit does exist. But to me, it's a human spirit. We all want to help each other and all. So there's the 6 emergency shelters, a lot of hotels as we're trying to get people to leave the island and go home, and others that are supposed to come out to cancel. Then people who live in the area can move into the hotels. If we run out of space there, I think the plan after that is they're going to be bringing people out here to Oahu. In fact, we're supposed to have the Made in Hawaii Expo coming up, which is a huge craft fair type thing, put it that way, next weekend. And, if there's enough people, I could see them actually taking and turning the convention center where it's going to be into, okay, emergency places for people to live. I really honestly could. And yeah, KK, you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. I mean, when a disaster hits, people come together. I will never, how many of you guys remember after 911? People came together. There was a sense of connection like I had never seen before. And that's what disaster does, okay, is it pulls people together. Yes, it causes all the emotional side of mental health issues too. We can't forget that. And but we help each other through that. Hey Chris, how you doing, my dear? Welcome, welcome. When the hurricane came through, 7-Eleven gave out 2 bags of ice free. Yeah. And it's amazing what people will actually do everywhere. They are there to make sure everyone's okay. And like I said yesterday, they were saying people on Oahu and Neighbor Islands, if you had an extra room, let us know. So yeah, it's just really, let's see. We also thank you, PJ. Thank you. Thank you. Prayer is powerful. Prayer, positive thoughts, all that, it's powerful. Okay, that's all I can say. Chris, I'll share the 2. Awesome. What I'm going to do is actually, as soon as I finish this, we're going to open up and I'm going to do something different to talk about natural disasters. I have some articles I can share about mental health and natural disasters, but I know a lot of you have been through natural disasters of your own. Okay, not all wildfires. Some might be hurricane, tornadoes, whatever. It's looking like, according to the poll, 53% of you have been through a natural disaster. And I want to talk about, I've had a few people share their stories with me privately. And it just, the resilience of people, just, it amazes me. So it truly does. Yep, PJ, saying prayers for Canada too, because they've been going through this and they've been going through this for weeks and weeks, months almost at this point. So, as I say here, everyone's homeless today. Everyone's homeless. Thousands of people are homeless today. I'm so relieved because I found out recently that my sister was safe. My brother is safe with his children. My stepdad was found. Huge sigh. But other families, like the lady we heard in the TV story, her son's missing still. And so, um, yeah, Andrew and Katrina, exactly, KK. Okay, yes, definitely. And you guys, people come together, and you know what? We become more resilient through things like this. We truly do. And so, let me just see if that. I think that's it on that. So yeah, that's it with the whole thing. And yeah, people were just they did have minutes to leave, and I think Sleuth said this the other day, actually. Sleuth said, you know what? And a lot of natural disasters, you're going to find certain things. Okay. Or you have a chance of finding certain things. Okay. Maybe it blew away or it's waterlogged, but you could dry pictures, things like that. In a fire like this, these families, there's nothing left. There are no family pictures left. I mean, this is the historic buildings in this area with history in cases for you to look at, museums, all gone. And so it'll be up to us to remind people of what that history is, word of mouth, and people who took pictures of these things like that. And also, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of segue us real quick. Just so you guys know, what I have been doing is I've been sharing out Maui Strong is actually a hashtag we've kind of been really working off in Hawaii. And like I said, pink is the color of that island, Maui. And so people have been putting together little things. That's why KK, I love your decal. Yeah, it's just gone. These things were burnt. They're not there anymore. They're ash. And um that's why word of mouth is so important. Telling stories. Okay, we talk about history. You can't hide history. You got you got to tell the stories because the stories are what we're going to remember. And if we need a change as humans, we got to know the stories. Sorry, I'm getting on a whole public, yeah, little rant there, but you sent me flood. Oh, awesome! I'll have to take a look at that. I'll have to take a look for that in a bit, and let me take a look. But in the meantime, let me do this. I'm gonna pull this down, and there's a couple of you that I shared, and I don't even know if you guys are all here right now or want to come up, but um, I want to invite people up to talk about how any stories they have of natural disasters they've been through. And what I want to do with this, it's not just telling the stories, but it's talking about the mental health effect, the effect it had on your mental health. Who are you now? How did you get through the emotion? Because, like me today, I know me, Jet's mom also has been going through a lot with this too. Um, because it connects with our heart because we've been there. Okay. It's part of our story. And so going through these emotions is a great way for us to talk and help each other with this. So, for any of you guys who want to, what I'm going to do real quickly is just share this out if anyone wants to come up. I am going to ask that you let me know it is you, whether it's showing me your face or sending me something real quick saying, yes, that's you backstage. Ideally, just let me know. Yeah, that way I know. And just because we don't want trolls. And we've got enough to deal with right now. So, um, yes, that would be amazing. Yes, we'll have to definitely we'll connect after that for sure. So I just shared the StreamYard. And let me actually I'm gonna close the poll right now and see how okay. It looks like so 57% of people have dealt with a natural disaster. Okay, 42% have not. And also, that's a good share of people, guys. And so, very. And also, now let me, while people are coming in, I'm going to pull something else up. I just got to pull the right form. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Here we go. There's a couple really great sites out there that I found as I started looking for information on this. Hey, Carrie G, how you doing, girl? Okay, one of the greatest sites I found when it came to talking about mental health and disasters actually came from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA. Um, and please, I'm going to share this out for people, okay? Because you know what? If you haven't been through a natural disaster, the day may come that you have. Those of you who have, if you don't mind typing into chat, what type of natural disaster have you been through? Okay, I know with me, my stories, there's basically, I've been through a couple, but most of them did not really affect, they weren't large enough to be big. Okay, the biggest for me was Hurricane Aniki. I did go through Hurricane Aniki, but the majority of it hit another island. I just moved to that island right after it happened. Um, but mine, which isn't really necessarily a natural disaster, but it kind of affected me on the same level, was the ballistic missile warning that went out. Okay, you guys might remember a couple years ago, someone in Hawaii hit a freaking button at civil defense and sent out a text message to everyone on the island saying that we had a nuclear ballistic missile on its way into Oahu, well, to the state, and basically kiss your butt goodbye. And that was, while not a natural disaster, it was that feeling of all of a sudden, what's going to happen? I'm going to, do I say goodbye to people? Okay, I was so focused on, for example, we were actually camping out in this room during it, and there's a window right over here. My dad was actually on this bed here because he was bedbound at the time, and we were trying to do all sorts of things, okay, put things up like, come on, nuclear bomb hits. Nothing you do is really going to, okay, and we don't know, didn't know where it would hit or anything. Chris was in floods and tornadoes and also hurricanes in Florida. Okay, got it, got it. Floods and all that. Let's see, Chris. Angie, you were near the most recent tornado in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I know there's quite a few people who've been through tornadoes. I've been through tornadoes, but I was really little. Okay, they went through our backyard, in fact, but I don't remember anything from them because I was so little. But I think the one thing that I found with these things is, and let us know what you guys think in chat, because that's what I really wanted this to be, was a discussion among us on how these things leave you feeling. But to me, it was this idea of no control. There was no control over anything. The moment you hear a hurricane is coming, you got that hurricane warning for those of you who are near hurricanes, or a tornado warning, you immediately get this feeling that there's nothing you can do about it. You can't really run. Okay, yes, hurricane, you can evacuate hopefully in time and stuff like that, but you can't make your house completely safe. If it hits, it hits. You have no real choice about it. Okay, Mother Nature, when she's going to do whatever she's going to do, she's going to do whatever she's going to do. There's no getting out of it. And Angie is saying, first Hurricane Katrina. That I would love to hear, those of you who'd been part of Hurricane Katrina. I mean, I told you guys yesterday I watched that recent movie about the um hospital that had to deal with the euthanasia question during Hurricane Katrina. But Katrina was scary, even though you evacuated because your dad stayed. Yeah. I couldn't get in contact with him for a week or so. He was smart and turned his phone off. That was smart, because how many people probably thought with Katrina, just like with these wildfires? Okay, I thought when I started hearing red flag warnings and all that, okay, here we go again. I'll just keep an eye out and all that. If something happens, it'll happen away from us and all that. Hurricane comes, you're like, okay, yeah, it's going to go through and then we'll be okay. No, it's not the way. So that was smart of him to make that decision. KK, were you part with that also? It felt like, so were you actually in Katrina still in the area and all that. Looks like quite a few people that are here on YouTube actually dealt with Hurricane Katrina. Um, let's see, Angie. I would love my dad to. Yeah, that'd be great if he ever could. Oh my God, that'd be. I love hearing stories like that. That's one of the things I love about being a nursing home administrator is hearing the stories. I actually used to sit and talk with elderly people who had been through December 7th, Pearl Harbor. They were kids at the time playing outside, and all of a sudden they see the planes coming over. And also, oh, it would be amazing to hear your dad tell his stories. He's in bed. Maybe one day. Exactly. KK's house was demolished. So, KK, can I ask you this? What type of emotions did you find yourself going through when all of a sudden because this is what's happening over on Maui right now. This is happening in areas in Canada right now. So many other places around the world. Okay, your house is demolished. What kind of feeling does that leave you with? What emotions did you fight? Okay, because that's what a lot of times here, let me go back to this while we're talking about all this. Okay, here they talk about things. The feeling of disbelief, of shock. Okay, no, this isn't happening. There's no way this is happening to me. Okay, or the fear about the future. Okay, what's going to happen? Oh my gosh, especially children. KK, you're pretty young as it is, so I'm sure you were very young. Okay, you were definitely probably a child during that time, and the fears as a child of when your house disappears like that, the fears of is something going to happen again? Okay, are you ever going to be safe? And KK is saying anxiety, fear, hopelessness, being overwhelmed. How will I ever rebuild what I had? Yeah. I look at these families right now over in Lahaina, and it was freshman year of college. Oh my God, you look so good for your age, girl. And but yeah, so you've kind of got that thing where you're just starting your life out and all that, and you're trying to really move forward and make a name for yourself. And you've got this thing that has happened that's held, kind of not held you back or say, but it's kind of made you take a step back. And so, yeah. Angie, second was Ida, Hurricane Ida. Okay. I couldn't afford to leave. I thought the roof was going to cave in. Your daughter and you slept on the living room floor to stay away from windows. You don't think you slept. You huddled over her. Yeah, protecting her the whole time. She was probably everything for you at that time. And trying to figure out how you do it once you lose power and stuff. Okay, as it says right over here. Okay, let me see. Oh, I'm sharing the wrong thing. I just realized. Actually, let me change. I was reading from the wrong page. Here we go. There we go. Now you can see what I was looking at. Okay, because it's matching a lot of what you guys are saying. Okay, that right there. Feeling powerless. Okay, this feeling of powerlessness that you really, you know what, guys, Mother Nature, when it comes down to it, Mother Nature has more power than any of us ever have. Yes, we mold her to do whatever it is that we want, to get power, to get electricity, to get water, we find ways to work with her on that. But in the end, if she says something, she's going to say whatever it is. Okay, right there. Yeah, losing everything. Okay, people say it's just stuff, but it's not. It's a lifetime that you work for pictures of your child's first step. Okay, what about a locket of hair? Your child's locket of hair from when they got there. Okay, these are things that when you're losing these things, it's pulling all these emotions, but at the same time, you also may have these emotions of relief because you know what? You survived. Okay, you survived whatever happened. So while you're dealing with this feeling of powerlessness and stuff like that, you are also like, yeah, but look, I survived it and my neighbor down the street may not have. So you get these mixed feelings going on. And how do you deal with that? No. Um, here, yeah, let's see. Let's pull this so you can see kind of what's going on here with this. So things that you're getting through, talking about stuff. If you got children, so some of the stuff I was going to, you're dealing with. How did you deal with it now? Okay, so I'm going to kind of change the question a little bit. And again, guys, if you want to come up on panel to tell your story or something, please feel free to. You can do it in chat if you want to. But if you would like to come up on panel, please feel free. I had someone who sent me a message on Discord who told me the story of something that happened to them with a tornado going through and the losses they dealt with. And what really got me with them is how they turned these losses into positives in the end. Okay. And they had massive losses. The losses, okay, losses of life close to them. And however, like many people tend to do, when something happens to you, a lot of us try to find ways to help other people who've been in that position. So you see a lot of times when a child deals with cancer as a child, they're diagnosed with cancer when they're young, or their mother or their father has cancer or something and passes away from it. A lot of times you hear of kids like that who become doctors, oncologists, nurse. Okay. I just, who was it the other day? We were watching Sarah, okay, the Pog family. As she passed away, her sister was talking about how she was going to become an oncology massage therapist. And because you take these things that are tragedies in your life and you realize, you know what? I can do something to help someone else. And that's what you do. That's what this person who sent me the Discord message did that just really amazed me is they work with the Red Cross response team now. Okay, so they're able to go out like right now. Okay, they could be going out if they lived here, they'd be going over to Maui most likely and helping out. And so they're able to be there for other people. KK, you have to just decide to do it. Yeah, you become more appreciative of what you have. Once things are taken away from you, you realize how important those things are and how blessed you are to have what you do have in your life. That's what's, I think, for anything, whether it's disasters or even just trauma in general. For those of you out there who deal with trauma, okay, you realize how important it is to know that you're a survivor, to know that you have the power to get through something. And you become appreciative of that. You become appreciative of your ability to put a foot in front of each other and keep moving forward. Hello, hello in the bushes. We're talking about just in general, those of you who've been through disasters. What were the emotions you went through afterwards? How did you get through it? What were some of the things that you did to help get yourself out on the other side? And Angie, yeah, something rings true to you about that? Yeah, it's interesting with me. I found that with myself. I refuse to be a victim in anything. I refuse. Okay, I do I feel like it at times? Do I feel like the world's coming down on me and I'm about to fall apart? Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. Okay, I mean that's why I did this subject today is because that's kind of what I was feeling like this morning. And thank you Miss Kelly who came up with this idea. And so but you realize, you know what? You have the control over things. You can either decide to keep stepping forward and keep that exactly, Chris, that positive mindset. Everyone else in a disaster is going through exactly what you're going through. Some of them are going through worse. There's always someone who has something worse than you have. And it's so easy because I find with myself, the moment I allow those things to take over control for me is the moment I go deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay. So I have to pull myself out of it that way. Angie, yes, complex PTSD. Yep. CPTSD. Now, anytime things go super bad, I allow yourself to cry because I know the crying will stop eventually. This too shall pass. And that's the thing. So many times, I think for years and years and years, we were all told, especially, I hate to say it, certain genders, okay, boys back in 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. You can't cry, you can't show your emotions, things like that. And the problem is, it's okay because you know what? You get the emotions out and you start feeling it. And just like Angie said, it's going to pass. At some point, all these people on Maui, no matter how bad everything is right now, they've lost their home, they may have lost a loved one, the fear of a loved one being missing right now. Can you picture that? Because there's many people with loved ones who are still missing. At some point, that will be over. It's hard to see it at the moment. Hell yes, it's hard to see it at the moment. My dad used to talk to me about all the time that life is nothing but cycles. Okay, and it is. Think about anything in your life. It's a cycle. Okay, everything from women in our lives, okay, to growing older from the time we're children. Okay, we're born, we can't eat by ourselves, we can't drink by ourselves, we need diapers. Okay, we get older, we start learning how to do these things for ourselves, and we finally get into adulthood, we do everything totally independently, and then we kind of start that cycle going back in the other direction again. Life is nothing but cycles. And once you start realizing that, you also realize, oh shit, this is the worst I have felt in months, whether it's healthcare issues, whether it's okay, hidden chronic illnesses. We talk about that quite often. And but you finally start realizing, hey, you know what? I'm feeling this way right now. Okay. You can't keep going further and further down. It's going to pick up. You just got to get to it. Angie, he calls. I like. I've never heard of that. Dr. John DeLong. I need to read into him. I've never heard. Okay, I'm going to do some research into him because I like that. Yeah, seasons of life, things like that. That makes sense. Love it that you guys talk on Discord about things. It really does. And also, so some of the things they suggest with recognizing things when you, and I think these help with most any, whether it's disasters you're going through, trauma, whatever, talking about it, just finding people that you can talk with, especially with something like right now, what's going on, okay, in Maui or other locations. If you've been through a tornado, the whole neighborhood is going through many of the same feelings, right? You're probably not the only one going through the emotions that you're going through. So if you connect in, okay, don't wall yourself off. Go to the different. It's probably one of the things they were talking yesterday about how a lot of people were staying in their vehicles rather than going to the shelters. One of the great things about going to the shelters is you're with other people who are going through a lot of what you're going through right then. So you're not feeling as alone or anything like that. So, and that goes with it. That's why we talk about support groups and all. You're with other people who know what it's like to go through what you've been through. And spend time with your family. Okay. Whether it is the family themselves have been through it, maybe it's actually going and staying with them. Okay. Or them coming out and spending time with them. Okay. Letting each other know it's okay to feel the way that you do. If you've got children especially during disasters, a child, we understand what's going on behind the disaster. We understand what a tornado is. We understand how they form. We understand the times of year that they tend to come around. Okay, we understand, okay, what a tsunami is and how they form or things like that. A child doesn't. All the child knows is they were in the middle of their day potentially, and this storm came through and just wasn't. Hey, Miss Persevere, no problem, my dear. I sent you something if you did want to, totally up to you, my dear. And no worries, but hello, 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 my dear. But yeah, for anyone, if you want to come on up, definitely feel free. Um, so a child does. What they've done is they are in the middle, maybe even of school. They're in the middle of a school day. How many of us, okay, I grew up on the mainland. I remember going through um fire drills, tornado drills, having to get underneath my desk with my hands over my head and stuff like that, open up the windows, things like that. Okay, I didn't know. I understood it was for a tornado, but I didn't understand much about the tornado side of things. And hello, 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 Miss Jessica. How you doing? And Angie, let's see. I'm going to say yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I need more and more channels that we can go to so we can pull information together for future lives. Definitely. So yeah, just talking. And one of the things, and this is probably my hardest thing in a any type of disaster, limit your exposure to images of the disaster, guys. How many of you find yourself always, when a disaster occurs, even if it is local to you, you feel like you have to be checking look at me. I even started off today's live with pictures. And we go there, and all we do is we keep focusing on all of these things and looking at the pictures. I remember, I don't know how many of you remember the tsunami in Indonesia, Thailand, and all. I had a family friend couple. It was a couple that I adored. Oh my God, I adore them. And they were in Thailand. They were in Phuket, actually. Supposed to have been in Phuket. They were gone for like 6 weeks, so they were in different places and all that. Sounds great, Miss Persevere. And and when that tsunami happened, they went to church with us and all that, and no one knew where they were because we weren't getting phone calls or anything. And we weren't getting emails, we weren't getting anything, so we didn't know what was going on. It literally took us about 10 days before we heard from them. But in the meantime, we were all trying to figure out what's going on. Good old Loco here, what did I decide to do? I decided to go on to to the internet pages that had pictures of those who had not made it but had not been identified yet, and start going through picture by picture by picture to see if my friends were there. What did I find out from that? Well, I felt like I needed to do it because we all needed to know. Everyone at church needed to know, were they fine or not? But I found it pulled me further and deeper because those pictures I can't forget now. I literally can't forget. I still, like right now, I can see these pictures of these people. It was one of the worst things. So, yeah, limiting your exposure to things like this. Um, Chris remembers, yeah, Maldives and all. Yeah, it was just, oh my gosh. Yeah, that one was another one that just no one ever expected something could go from a tsunami to that big, and so many people affected from so many, not just one area. We're used to tsunamis where it's one area, but this was like the whole basin, the whole water basin, pretty much. And so limit your exposure to those things. You don't need to. I do not need to be sitting here and looking at picture after picture after picture of Maui. Instead, I can focus on what I can do to bring positive to it. rather than just because the pictures make you feel more and more helpless. Okay, they make you feel more and more scared. The fear is real. The fear is real. All of a sudden, in my eyes, I'm picturing wildfire coming down. I live in a valley here. Okay, what happened there could easily happen where I live. Easily happen where I live. And my mind just goes running off with that. So, um, let's see. Angie, me too. Chris, what did Chris say? There's cases that make you really, really, yep, cry. Yep, and that's it. Why do you watch your stuff? Yeah, oh, everyone loves to do that. I get asked that all the time. So what else we got here? Suggestions that they suggest. Find time for activities you enjoy. Someone I saw this actually, and it really was interesting. Someone posted a picture of them on Maui. They live on Maui. They're going through all this stuff. And they went over for sunset yesterday to one of the safe beaches. And they just sat by the beach and they videotaped the sunset. And they talked about how it calmed them because it felt kind of normal. And it's one of those sunsets you see all the time for us. For us, a Hawaiian sunset happens every single day. So you kind of get used to them, but they're still always as gorgeous, always just as gorgeous. And they always leave you with the same feeling. And so try to find time to do things that are normal. Okay. Things that you're absolutely, okay, you're used to doing. And let's see, take things one at a time. This, I think, goes for any time we're dealing with stress. When we try to multitask and we try to do too many things at once, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay. Instead, yes, there's a lot to do. Okay. KK, you would probably remember, okay, when Katrina hit, okay, and you lost your home and all that, you're looking at all these things. You've got insurance stuff to file, you've got construction issues to deal with, you've got, okay, how are you going to recoup anything that you have, so going into the house and pulling out whatever you can retrieve, things like that. So instead of looking at all of this stuff and just like, oh my god, I got to run from this to this, create your task list. Just have a checklist and just start going through it. Having that checklist, there's something, gang, about being able to click off things. Okay, I love to do lists. I am the queen of to do lists. Okay, I literally, when I go on vacation, I have to do lists to get ready. I'm not organized by any means, but that's what I do. And it feels so good. Like right now, I'm trying to work on the company for all my diamond painting stuff. So I've started a whole checklist for developing the store. Okay, take pictures, create the domain, do this, do that. And it feels so freaking good when I hit that button and it gives it the check mark. So I feel like I succeeded in something. You literally make a list to make a, okay, yeah, I've done that. Guilty. But it does. You feel good about it. You really, really do. And so it's a great thing. Hey, B10, any good fundraisers? Yes, there are. What I have, if you go to my community tab, and about four, I will repost it right after this live, in between this and Cantina, because Cantina starts in 1 hour. I went through Hawaii News Now so I can make sure everything was on the up and up and a good location to go to. There's probably, I'd say, a good 10 or so places that are suggested there based off of what you feel best donating to. So if you love animals, there's an animal donation group there, because there's a lot of animals right now that are no owners. They're roaming around. They need foster, they need things like that. We've got the restaurant association because people are trying to get food to these people. Um Even here on Oahu, we're being asked, can we bring people into our house? So, and also, but yeah, be a Tim. Check that out and I'll repost that for sure. For sure. Let's see, what else do we have here? I want to make sure I give some time because actually um Miss Persevere is one of the people I was talking to before this live, and I really appreciated hearing her story. So I want to make sure we give her some time to talk also. So what other things? Okay. Do things positive. Okay. KK had an awesome idea. She's like, okay, you feel during, even if a natural disaster doesn't hit you personally, okay, Hurricane Aniki for me. The island of Kauai looked like a bomb had gone off there. Right now, the wildfires, they're on another island. Okay, I feel like they've affected me, but they haven't really affected me, but I'm so close. It's just, I feel like I need to do something. And so try to find ways you can help out. Okay, if blood is needed, give blood. Create care packages like KK is suggesting doing, creating, okay, labels and stuff that people can show to support and buy and can be donated, the money donated to people. Find ways that you can turn your emotions into success, positives. And this one does not need said, guys. Honestly, I don't even need to tell you guys this because most of us have that ability to know this. Stay away from drugs and alcohol. It's hard because a lot of us use drugs and alcohol as self medication. Yeah. A lot of people go to alcohol, okay, beer, a glass of wine, things like that as a way of self medicating. I remember after surveys in nursing homes where all of the management team would go out for a drink afterwards, okay, to relax and stuff like that. And so you've got all these things, but the problem is usually, especially in a case like this, it can very quickly go from being one or two drinks to kind of get that edge off to where you're depending on it. Okay. And during a time when you're going through so much stress and you're needing things, you need to find healthy ways to get through things like that. Okay. And ask for help when you need it. Just ask people because everyone wants to help. Right now, it's amazing how many people who want to help the people of Maui. Everyone wants to help. Yeah, Jessica, big time. And this is my biggest fear. And this is actually one reason why I did hear something said that, and it's getting positive and negative feedback on this. Um, they are pretty much the help that's coming in from the outside, not internal Maui based help, but outside. So neighbor island, mainland, other countries, they are only allowing to come from reputable groups. Salvation Army, okay, Red Cross, the reputable ones, the ones that pretty much are, in fact, I need to check my list to make sure those are still on the list. And I will keep doing that. I'll keep checking to make sure that they don't take any of those off the list. Again, my list that I put together was through Hawaii News Now. People are feeling weird ways about that because the problem is, as we discussed yesterday, sometimes with the big groups like that, they don't necessarily know the community and the needs of the community itself. And that's kind of what's popping up out of this. Okay, people from Maui who are complaining about this are complaining based off of that. They're like, you know what? I'm part of a church, for example. Okay, this was one of the articles I read about it. I'm part of a church and I want to, I know the area. I used to live there and all that, yet they're not allowing us to bring our stuff in right now. So, but be aware, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, don't hit a GoFundMe. I hate to say that because GoFundMe does amazing work. Okay, GoFundMe has some great ways to support people. But when you've got something like what's going on in Maui right now, some of those are going to be real unless you can verify that that GoFundMe is real, unless you can go to a primary source, not a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. but a primary source. It's like those of us who do missing people and we get GoFundMe's, okay, for missing people families. It's usually not being shared unless it comes from the family saying, yes, this is a real GoFundMe. So please, yeah, be very, very careful about that. So yeah, totally. Um, I am trying to, one thing I am going to say this, if I don't go, because I am going to probably have to, I'm going to keep this going till about 5:15, and then I'm probably going to kind of pull this down because I need to take a break and grab some food before cantina. But we can continue some of this discussion during cantina. And if we need to, because I would love if people would like to talk about their stories, and I just kind of sprung it on you today, let me know. We can do another live where we actually talk about, because I don't know about you, I still like to sometimes talk about what's happened to me in the past. Okay, what happened the day of the ballistic missile text message. That still affects me at times. It really does. I mean, because at the time I didn't have time to think about anything. And those of you who have been through something like, no worries, Miss Persevere, don't worry, my dear, at all. I understand. I really want to get your story, because listening to your story as you were telling me, I really want to be able to share that story with everyone. So, what we can do, like I said, is I don't know what your time's like, whether or not we continue it with today. Let me know. Okay, let me know if you want to go with it now, or we can do it during cantina and continue cantina with it, or go for another day, because I really want people to hear your story. I think it's important. I really do. So, and also no worries whatsoever. Um, Chris, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, yes. I'm trying to get used to Discord. I get too many things going on at once. So okay, let's see here. Now there's one other site I wanted to share. So the website that I was sharing here, I'm going to share with you guys right here. Um, that is what I just shared with. I'm going to share one other real quickly with you guys. Because SAMHSA did an amazing job pulling together good information for, like they said here, traumatic events or disasters. So they talk about all the things that we were talking about. Okay, getting good enough sleep, limit your consumption of news, don't focus nonstop on the negative. Okay, they really got some great stuff here. Um, However, what I loved about what they have here, okay, and they go into all the things, financial advisors for helping you get out of it if you have to build a new house or stuff like that. This, though, is what I really appreciated from SAMHSA, is their links. Okay, psychological first aid. Okay, that just got me the moment I saw that. I was like, what do you mean psychological first aid? What is psychological first aid? Whole thing here. Okay, on what psychological first aid is. Well, we know what first aid is. First aid is what's done immediately to take care of, okay, injuries. So I would think what we're talking about is what can be done immediately to deal with the psychological bleeding, the psychological emotions that you're going through. So taking that a look at that. This site, gang, is just super, really, really super. And mass violence, we're living in a world now where mass violence is something that happens. We get, okay, mass shootings, things like that, they happen all the time. Okay, so coming into here and taking a look at that, if you have children, how to help your child. Okay, if you've had a tornado go through, you've had a hurricane go through. Okay, what's the difference between how a preschooler deals with it versus a high school age child? They're going to deal with all these things differently. Okay, a high schooler might be dealing with it on a level that's a little closer to adults. You might have to deal with things like self-medication, stuff like that. Pre-K or kindergarten's probably not going to be going in that direction. Okay, so those are things to take a look at. So please take a look at these sites. I'd even bookmark it, to be honest. I would definitely bookmark the site because, like I said, you never know when a disaster is going to hit your area. And again, it has right up here at the top 988. We all know that number. So, Miss Persevere, I'm going to connect with you on Discord because I really, like I said, I truly want to share your story out. And so we could do either way. We could do it on another day, or and maybe if there's other people who'd like to, we can do it at that time. Or the other thing is, of course, Cantina will start in 50 minutes. So that's the other option we can do. And so because I really would love to hear, because I love how you turned, I kind of let them in on a little bit of it without saying who it was from. And but I loved how you turned something from disaster into a positive, because I think that's what we all could learn from. So thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Um yes, Angie, you got it. Yeah, Angie's my friend on Facebook. Yeah. No. For those of you on Discord, things like that, let me know if you ever need to talk. So it's hard. There's been a lot going on. A lot of you guys, and I do want to address, a lot of you guys are having really rough times right now. A lot of people are having really rough times right now. And I know it's hard when we're having rough times because you need to lean on people more than ever. The problem is when those people are also having rough times, we're all starting to feel like, oh my gosh, where do we go? Where do we go? And these are the times when having our skills, having those grounding skills, having those ways to say, okay, how else can I get my story told? And that's why I do try to have the folders in Discord for people to be able to just vent. No drama. It's not about drama. It's about venting. If you have something going on in your life and you just need to get it out, and that's what it's there for. And just to know that there are other people out there listening to you, and you're not alone, because none of us are alone. Even when everyone else is going through a lot of stuff, you're not alone, no matter what. So, and yes, Chris has been working really hard with the cold case stuff, by the way. And I need to, yeah, he's been sending me some great stuff on email, by the way. So, um, so Cantina will be going in. Actually, let me stop sharing that real quick. Cantina will be up and ready in just over 45 minutes. I'm going to go grab myself. My brother's actually supposed to be bringing me. That's why I'm cutting this short at a certain time, because my brother's supposed to be dropping by the house to give me some dinner. And so, yeah, Miss Persevere, same with you. Having a hard time lately, part of seeing your post. Was it? I'm happy. I'm happy. Today was an issue for me. And actually, it was Miss Kelly KB, who helped me with it, because I didn't know what to talk about today because I could not get everything that's going on out of my head. And so I'm happy about I'm happy about that. And yeah, we're all here. We're all here. Even we may not be able to talk on the phone or things like that, but we're still here for each. And Chris, I would love to see you in Cantina. So, and I will during Cantina, I am going to be working on this. This is my latest. I am going to, I've been in a Grogu mode lately. So I will see you guys in, I did set it up so you guys will be automatically sent over to Cantina after this. So just stay here. It should happen. Cross my fingers, cross my toes, my legs, and everything else. I agree. Pray everyone stays safe and best. And love you guys tons and tons. Cassie's been barking every 5 seconds. Did you want to say anything, Cassie, before we leave? Did you want to say, oh, you just want kisses? Yeah, you want kisses. Oh, yeah, we want kisses. That's for sure. So I will see you guys in 45 minutes exactly. Aloha. No problem. I'll see you around. I'll send you a message for sure. Also. Okay. Love you guys. Aloha. Say goodbye, Cass. Say bye. Oh, give me a kiss. Okay. Kiss them. Kiss them. Ah! Okay. Bye, guys. Aloha. Mahalo, gang. Okay. Mahalo.